It was a vicious and brutal murder. A high school student beaten repeatedly until he died 34 years ago.
And yesterday, there was a parole hearing for the convicted killer, Mark Radke. The victim's family watched the hearing on Zoom. CBS 8's Steve Fiorina spoke with them about the case that has haunted them for decades.
A friendship between co-workers at the Scripps Ranch Chuck E. Cheese ended in bloodshed 34 years ago. A teenager cut and bludgeoned to death in a nearby parking lot. Jeffrey Rudiger was a popular student at Mira Mesa High School. 16 years old, he told a friend he was involved in a special project that night. He ended up handcuffed, slashed, and beaten to death with a hammer. No motive was ever determined, but blood evidence in Mark Radke's car helped convict the 21-year-old of murder. He was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison and served time in San Quentin. Denied parole by then-Governor Jerry Brown in 2018, he was given another hearing and again denied by the two-person panel and given 3 years before his next hearing might be scheduled. Jeffrey's mother, sister, and brothers watched via a Zoom link. There is relief that Radke will stay behind bars.
I think our family's relieved that we don't have to look over our shoulder and be afraid to run into the person who murdered my brother, yes.
Still very difficult for each of them.
Hearing the story over again and again on how he was murdered and what was going on is horrendous.
There was pain, tears, but also a buffer. The hearing was virtual, no face-to-face.
I felt protected that I wasn't in the same room as the murderer.
Deputy District Attorney John Cross called it a rage-filled, horrific murder, and he was pleased at the outcome.
The important thing is that the board saw through the inmate and saw that he's not ready for a grant of parole and denied him parole.
Radke's defense attorney said he and the inmate were disappointed, but it wasn't unexpected. Michael Beckman continued, "I believe Mark Radke is innocent of this crime and that he's never going to admit to something he didn't do." And he kept referring to a lack of a confirmed motive. Jeff Rudiger's family wants to keep Mark Radke locked up for life and vow to fight his parole every time it comes up.